Hello, my name is Kevin Park. The phone is an electrical system you use to talk to someone else in another place. Now phones are just for calling, but you cannot text, take and send pictures, record videos, access the internet, play games, and much more. This time we will discuss about if should students have phones or not. I said I do not agree because it's bad for your health and it also can cause a distraction in education. I will talk about why phones are bad for your health. The problem is that when this happens, they are absorbed into the body's tissues, and this is why some studies have indicated the risk of brain cancer. It also makes your eyes bad if you stare phone screens every day. Mobile phones can cause a distraction in education. Do you know what they do? When teachers are teaching students hardly, some students text message their friends and play games with their phones. Also, they use phones for cheating on their tests. I said students do not need phones because it's bad for your health and phones can cause a distraction in education. The problem is that when this happens, they are absorbed into the body's tissues, and this is why some studies have indicated the risk of brain cancer. Some students text message their friends and play games with their phones in class. You can experience trouble if you use your phones in class. Therefore, students should not use their phones. Thank you.
I'm disagree with Kevin. Hello, my name is Jun. Do you think students should have phones or not? I think students need phones because first, if students are in emergency situations, then students have to call their parents. Second, students can get a lot of information. Third, students can call their friends. Fourth, if students are in emergency situations, then students have to call their parents. In Korea, my friend was in school, and school ended. He registered to come at that time, but he didn't have his umbrella. But I saw he got wet. I think if he had phones, then he could call his parents. Second, students can get a lot of information. If there are no computers, then they can't use internet. But if they have smartphones, then they can use internet. Then they can get a lot of information. I think get a lot of information is good for students. Third, students can call their friends. If students want to call their friends, then but if they don't have phones and they can't call their friends, then they can't make many friends. I think making many friends is good for students. If you have phones, you can call your parents in emergency situations. Students can get a lot of information, and students can call their friends. I think you can call your parents. Getting information is good for you, and phones are good for making friends too. Phones are good for these reasons. Therefore, I think students should have phones. Thank you.
I agree with Jun. Hi, my name is Megan. Does anybody think students should not have their own phones? In my opinion, I think they should, because of these three reasons. First, for GPS, second, for internet, third, for connecting with their parents. Therefore, students should have their own phones. Let me begin with my first reason. They can use their phone for GPS. For example, there was one girl named Natalie who got kidnapped by her grandma, but she got rescued by people because of her GPS. But what if she didn't have her GPS? She wouldn't have been rescued by people. Therefore, students should have their phones for GPS. Second, for internet. When students have their internet homework, students can use their phones so it won't take too long to do their homework. Also, it is really handy. How about for fun? When students want to play games, they need to get permission from their parents for using the computer. But if they have their phones, they can play on their phones, so they won't need to ask their parents for permission, and it won't take as long as using a computer. My third reason is connecting with mom and dad. If students don't have their own phones, they cannot connect with mom and dad, then parents are going to be worried and they don't know where their child is. For example, their parents might not know where to pick their child up or what time they have to pick them up. In my conclusion, students should have their own phones. First, for GPS, second, for internet, third, for connecting with their parents. Because of these three reasons, they should ask their parents for their own phones. Thank you.
I disagree with me. Do you have your own cell phone, or do you even want one? If you have one, do you like it? It might be fun to have your own cell phone. You can play with it, you can call your friends, you can text it. It is a lot of fun, but listen to me, it is definitely not good for you. Hello, my name is Sam King. Today, I'll be arguing that students should not have cell phone because of three reasons. It is bad for your health, bad for your social networking, and it is expensive if it is lost. If you don't agree with me, you will agree if you listen to my speech. To start, cell phone is expensive if it is lost. Cell phone is very expensive for children. You have to buy it, you have to charge it, you have to buy some application. It is a lot. But if you lose it, it will cost more, and it will be very hard to replace it. Also, children have more percentage than adults to lose or break their cell phones. So it is a bad idea to letting students have their own cell phone. Next, cell phone is bad for students' health. Do you ever heard of things called electromagnetic waves? That is some kind of ray that comes off from cell phone or other electronic things. That might hurt you a lot. It might bring you a brain cancer. It is very dangerous. Also, if you stare at a screen a lot, it might lower your eyesight. So it is a bad idea. Last, they can't use cell phone because of their social networking. Every single friend that I know who owns their own cell phone texts it everywhere. They text at library, their house. They even use their cell phone in classroom in school. It will cause a lot of trouble. So you don't want to own your own cell phone. Cell phone is good for students, bad for students' health, social network, and it is expensive. Now, do you agree with my opinion? You should. Thank you for listening to our speeches.